All right, hello again, and thank you so much for joining me, your host, Mark Eric Sebon, on another Director's Edition. This time around, episode 6. So, let's start off with what was going on in this episode. It's kind of no, it is actually really funny because originally this was going to be two separate scripts. One on the traditions that are starting to fade away, and another one on how animes helped us deal with tragedy. But because of, and I've said this so many times, because of COVID and also actually because of the Olympics, so many areas were getting shut down that I could not get access to what I originally was planning. So there for each episode, there was one more anime I was going to use as a reference point. But again, well, couldn't get to it. So I basically had to do an 11th hour Hail Mary pass and stitch together these two episodes in the lobby of my hotel in Osaka and just kind of, go for it. Let's see how this works. And I think it came out okay, but you tell me. Go ahead and comment on this episode. Please comment on the original episode and always feel free to just get in contact with me at animeintherealworld2020 at gmail.com. Let me know how this one went. So this was the great experiment to see if I could actually put two separate episodes together. I think it came out okay, but it's not for me to say. So, yeah, I remember getting the reports that this area is closed off and this area is closed off, and me looking at the two separate scripts and going, okay, give me a pen. I'm going to have to cross out this, I'm going to have to cross out that, and try to piece this together. So, but that's one of those things. If I can give anyone who's trying to become a producer, create documentaries, create movies, or anything, just be ready for everything. No matter how much you plan, it's not going to be enough. And that is not a fault to you. That is just the reality of reality. No matter how much you prepare for, something's going to happen, and you're going to have to turn on your heels and think of something else. Get used to it. That's just how things are. But that also shows if you can do that, how good you are at being a producer, a writer, director, artist. It doesn't matter. Just if you can go with the flow and make it work in the end, you're doing a great job. So, okay, that's my advice from you. For you, from me, whoop de doo. So, this I really fell in love with this anime Dagashi Kashi, and it was just so it's such a weird anime, but I absolutely adored it. And I thought, well, that's so cool because these we really don't have candy shops anymore in the US. If we're going to go get candy, we're going to go to a grocery store or convenience mart. And there's some candy shops, but they usually don't do well and they are gone pretty quickly, but there's something so cool about this tradition that is fading away. And let me tell you, it is really fading away. It was very hard to actually find real dagashi shops anywhere in Japan. This was the pinnacle. This dagashi shop in Tokyo is the oldest still standing dagashi shop. I mean, it survived the Tokyo bombardment. It survived the Kanto earthquake, and it's still there and still owned by the same family. And these the the woman who owns it was the sweetest woman, and let me tell you, I my Japanese is horrible, but they were just so kind and they talked to me as much as they can. And there she is with her granddaughter. They were the sweetest people. They let me film over there. They let me take photographs. They did not care. The people around didn't care either, and that's like one of the things that always amazed me about Japan. That no matter where I was going, as long as I wasn't being like a paparazzi and getting right in someone's face, they didn't care. No one cared if you were filming on the street or if you were in a building. You just kind of ask, "Can I film here?" They might say, "No, go over in that corner." But for most of the time, no one cared. It made filming this documentary so much easier because everyone's just so relaxed. And okay, yes, this is the Dagashi and some of the toys and so many other things that were featured in the anime. I had to go to so many locations to find everything, but I couldn't find every little thing. So here, let's do a game. Okay, if you can tell me what is missing from that table that was featured in the show, I will send you a Dagashi Kashi gift pack from me to you. So the first one who tells me what's missing, you win something from me. This place also was really, this place was just a shock because I knew it was there. Doing your research, you kind of know where you want to go, but I didn't know if it actually still existed or if it was even going to be open because of COVID. But right downtown Osaka, there was this classic arcade, and this place was huge, 3 floors, 3 freaking floors of nothing but classic video games. I mean, I went with a friend, and I will admit this: the minute I walked in and saw all the games that I remember as a kid, I squealed a little. It was the nerdiest moment. And surprising, a documentary on anime, and that was my nerdiest moment. But it really was, as I walked in there and go, ah! It's like, oh my god. But 3 floors of so much nostalgia. And it was just great because it costs nothing. It costs nothing to play. What's 10? It was 10 yen, so that's equivalent in U.S. right now, probably about 7.5 cents to play a video game, and they were so cool. They had no issues with me filming over there, although filming there was no, it wasn't kind of tricky. It was extremely tricky because of how much sound there is. I tried to put filters on the mic and everything, and just it came out okay. Luckily, you can hear me, but it was like, oh well. This was cool because there she is. There's the actual manga artist's hand drawn picture of Ono right there in the arcade. And now this anime is not based in Osaka, although there is an Osakan character, which makes me laugh. Now I'm thinking about it, but it was actually, so to see her there, it was like, oh, that is just that. It's like the heavens are pointing. You film here because this is here. Again, me nerding out about the weirdest and stupidest things. Like, oh, jeez, look at this. Like, I want you to pause and just look at the games. Like, right there in the back corner was oh, I can't even remember the game of. Okay, moving along. This place was awesome. A55 is a Dagashi bar. They were they were so cool. They had absolutely no problems. Again, and I've said this before, how many people you just ask, they've got no problems with you filming there. So if you ever want to film a documentary, go to Japan. I doesn't I I don't even think it's gonna matter what it's about because everyone's just okay, go ahead and film. Yeah, no problems, go ahead and film. So it just so many great opportunities that actually happened to this during this documentary that I'm so grateful for. Okay, so this is in Fukushima City. This is probably like 4 a.m. in the morning. It's I don't know mid. Oh god, you can actually see how cold it is. My nose is red. I think I had to scrap everything I was doing because I'm on a bridge right by the train station, and there's just traffic everywhere. And it's surprising actually. Fukushima City is really quiet place, believe it or not. Even though you see the police lights, I think that was a speed. That was a speeder. I think someone was speeding back there. But it's a big area, but it's just so quiet, and they've got a really lively nightlife. But it was just absolutely silent all the time, except for those police cars. But there was just enough traffic in the area that I couldn't film, so I had to do it like at 4 a.m. And that's a repeat thing I've noticed how often I am actually recording at like 2 or 4 a.m. in the morning, just to be able to get the shots, just to be able to basically not be in anyone's way, but also not to have anyone in my way. So the weird little things that happened. Okay, this area. Oh, this area was weird and it was creepy, and that place is creepy. That abandoned building because I took a picture of it on Facebook and I sent it to my friends and my family, and Facebook asked me to tag a friend in it. So go back and pause on that building and you tell me if there's another person there. And that's how creepy that whole area. There's nobody there. And yet Facebook goes, tag a friend. I'm like, what friend? So that area where we were was in Nami. So I go, okay, so I think I might have told this story before. I don't remember, so forgive me if I did. But this is probably the weirdest and funniest thing that happened to me was in Nami. So Nami not is probably about 40 minutes by train outside of Fukushima City, and it just reopened probably about a month before I went to Japan. So it's like the major cities: Fukushima City, Name, Futaba, and then in Futaba, that's where basically everyone who worked for the power plant lived. Futaba is still closed off. I tried to get as close as possible, could never make it in there. So I went to Name and I walked around to get those shots. So while I'm walking around, I get off the train station. I start walking into basically what looked kind of like an entertainment district because there was a restaurant, there was a hotel, there's a couple little shops, and that's where that creepy building was. And a cop car goes flying past. Not okay. Flying isn't the right term. It was actually speeding, and then it went really slow when they saw me. So I'm standing in really what is an abandoned street, and I turn my head as the cop car is slowing down. The cops make eye contact with me, and they kind of just inch along, then speed away. And I'm like, okay, the cops know I'm here. They did not stop me, so I've got to be careful. And the biggest reason why I had to be so careful is because urban exploring laws in Japan are completely different than they are in the US. They are far, far stricter. Far stricter. So I had to be careful, but I wasn't going to stop what I was going to do. I was going to take as many photos as I could and as much video. Now, I couldn't get as much video. There were some issues with my recording equipment, so that's why those were still shots. But as I'm walking around and I'm taking photos and such, and I'm very careful not to go into the building, so all those photos you see is me, like hunched over a windowsill and taking photos, and then going, okay, no, I didn't go in the building. I didn't. You can't get me. I didn't go in the building. But the cops had kind of saw me a couple more times. We made eye contact, and every time they would be moving, and then they would slow down because Name is not a huge. It's a town, so it's not a city. It's a town. It's a very small town, so there's not a lot around, and there's almost nobody there except for strangely a bakery that was next to the station had about 20 people in it. That was weird, but okay, whatever. The town is reopened. It's starting to get lively again. Awesome. So I'm. It's getting close to 5 o'clock, and the last train back to Tokyo. No, excuse me, not Tokyo. Last train back to Fukushima City is at 5 o'clock. So it's probably about 4:30. I'm at the other end of the town, so I walk back, and it took about See, this is how big that town actually was. It took about 15 minutes to get back, so it's not huge. But so, but when I got to the train station, I'm like, okay, I got a couple more minutes. I'm not gonna get my ticket yet because I see over at the corner of the station is an ice cream vending machine, and let me tell you, when you're in Japan, you all of you know how many amazing vending machines there are. Don't forget about the ice cream vending machine. It was amazing. They had a cookies and cream ice cream that just had wow. So I buy my ice cream, and yes, it's January, but strangely, like look at the temperatures. Like January this year in Japan was actually really warm. So I unwrap my ice cream and I start going to town on it, loving it. And out of the corner of my eye, right at the stoplight by the entrance of the station, who do I see? The cop car. So the cop car is coming out of that entertainment district road that I was at earlier taking photos. They put on the right turn signal. The cop sees me standing at the station, and instead of going right, now his turn signal is still on to go right. He hits it, goes left. I mean, he squeals. He squeals. Goes left, speeds up to where I am, and then almost at a crawl with the driver and the passenger officer both turning out their window and they're staring me down. So they were speeding, went to a crawl, and just eyed me. And they're both of them are looking, so they're not even paying attention to the road. They are eyeing me as they drive past, and I'm looking at them, and I just lick my ice cream. and they just roll away and then speed and then they go away. So I don't know if that qualifies as a player move, but no, I was standing there just looking at my ice cream, staring at the two officers, staring at me. So that's my story of my fun time in Nami. I got eyed at by police. So yeah, there we go. So that's my story. And it's the end credits time. So, oh, we're done. Oh no. Okay. So thank you again for spending time with me and listening to my stories. And the final episode will be out next Friday. I know, it's sad. I'm sad. I'm freaking out that it's the final episode. But it's not actually going to be the final episode. Please stay tuned. End of November, starting December, early December possibly. Couple more episodes, couple bonus episodes will be coming out. So the series will be ending, but it is not over. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I will talk to you in 2 weeks. Bye. Just smile, nod, people. Just smile, nod. Ever since 1868, when the Shogun period, yeah. But back into the seat of power, countless of people moved to the new city, to the new capital. Yeah. No matter what. Ever since 1868, when, no, do your line right. The Shogun period ended, which, nope, try that again. Try again. To an age-old tradition of first dates. Yeah, fine. Burr was put back into power. Why am I moving around so much? Try this again.